is Robert Aldana with the My Scotts Valley Facebook page. That is facebook.com/My Scotts Valley. I'm sitting here at Gateway Bible Church in what's known as The Den. I'm sitting here with Pastor Dan Bowman and also with Oscar James, who has a lot of interesting information, actually great information and even touching information he's going to share with us. A lot of information coming from Liberia and a humanitarian effort that's taking place right now that's taking place in Scotts Valley, but it's not just for Scotts Valley. Really, this video is going to go all over probably the entire United States. So there's going to be a lot of people watching it and hopefully participating in what Mr. James is about to share with us today. First of all, thanks, Dan, for allowing me to come here today and for this excellent information you guys are about to give.
My pleasure.
And Oscar James, I love your name, Oscar James. Cool name. You got two names. I only have one. I'm Robert Aldana. I never had a middle name, so you have two first names. That's a cool thing. Oscar James, tell us about what's going on right now with Liberia, the Ebola virus that's hitting everyone. Not everyone, hitting a lot of people over there. It's a tragic situation, but tell me more or less what's happening right now in Liberia.
Thank you, Robert. As you said, my name is Oscar James. I'm with a ministry called Ahead Ministries. We're based in San Jose, but we do all of our work in West Africa, primarily in Liberia. And as you probably know, Liberia is currently at the epicenter of this Ebola outbreak, with the most reported cases and the most death. Ebola is horrible. It's a horrible disease. It kills people real fast within anywhere from 3 days to about 15 days, the person is dead. And there's no cure, no known cure. Some efforts are being made to help in that direction, but we know of no known cure. And right now, it's ravaging the country. It's transmitted by contact and bodily fluids and those kinds of things. And people are dying in this poor nation of Liberia and also in Sierra Leone and Guinea. So Ahead Ministries that works in this area, we're trying to respond. We operate a clinic in the country. We have some issues there. We have lost people. People died from the Ebola virus. And we're also trying to touch pastors and friends and others in the country. So we're trying to respond by providing healthcare needs like medicine. We're trying to provide food, and we're trying to provide some relief. Primarily food right now is important because, as I shared with you earlier, the country has declared a state of emergency. They've shut down the borders. They'll quarantine pretty much all the little cities. So therefore, you have very little transportation and movement between. And you can just imagine if you could shut down a major artery in the U.S. for food. You shut down the food basket. People can't get food from one place to the other. We got reports from over 40+ people in the ground telling us that people are dying from hunger before they die from Ebola.
That's unbelievable because, when you think about it, I mean, just imagine us living in Scotts Valley. And again, if you're watching our video from, Florida or Texas or wherever you're watching, you don't know Scotts Valley. Beautiful town in Northern California, the Santa Cruz Mountains. We have several different highways that kind of reach us. So let's, for example, talk about Highway 17, Highway 1, Highway 9, and Highway 101. Imagine if all those highways, all those freeways were actually stopped. In other words, there were no more traffic flowing through. How difficult it would be to get food over to all of us. So what's tragic about that, Oscar, is that people are not only, if they're not dying from Ebola, they're dying of hunger.
Absolutely.
What a tragic situation. Dan, tell me about what Gateway Bible is trying to do, Gateway Bible Church of Scotts Valley. Tell me about some of the projects, or at least one of the first projects you're trying to implement here.
Yeah, well, we've been a friend of Oscar James and Ahead Ministries for many years, partnering him with education, clean water throughout the areas for the people there. And when we heard about Ebola outbreaking there in his city as well, and how the medical clinics were shutting down and everything, we're like, it's easy to give money. Right. I mean, just write a check. But how can we mobilize people behind him to support him and to help him also? So it's not a one-man job, right, but that is a community coming behind him saying, you know what? How can we rally our church and how can we rally our greater community to say, you know what, I'll give rice, I'll give beans, I'll give some medical supplies. So we just said, you know what, after a phone call with a good friend, he says, have you thought about doing that? I'm like, you know what, that's such a great idea. We can drop a container, fill it, and ship it. You know, because we have a great community and a generous one too.
It's not just about rallying our church, because I come to Gateway Bible Church. There's so many wonderful churches here in Scotts Valley and Santa Cruz County, and really all over Northern California and all over the country. It's not just about rallying our church. It's about rallying all the churches. It's about rallying all the communities, the various different communities that are in Northern California, various different communities throughout the country, to come together. Because I'll tell you what, we living in Scotts Valley are very fortunate, and we're so far removed from the tragic scene that's going on in Liberia. We completely take it for granted. Most of us will never see this type of pain that the people are suffering. So I think that we as a community, we're so blessed, and we need to all come together and figure out a way to each of us make a difference. I think what one of the messages is that there doesn't need to be one person that does a tremendous amount of things. There just needs to be a whole entire community doing just a little bit, each one of them. Right. Your thought?
Well, that's exactly right. We can impact this country. This is a country of 4 million people. Majority of the population is right in Monrovia. And they need food, they need clean water, they need medicine, they need common things like aspirin and those things that we take for granted. We have the ability to do that. What's critical here is that we can identify with people in this time of need, not necessarily by doing a whole lot, but just stepping up and doing a little.
Correct. Correct. Just everybody just coming together and doing a little. So what can we do as a community here in Scotts Valley? Let's start with Scotts Valley first, because that's what, that's what we are. What can we as a community do to help the situation that may seem so far removed, but you know what? We're all in the same world. We're all in it together. What can we do to start making a difference and help out with this project?
Well, I will also, Dan will speak a little bit about this, but specifically, we're asking this community to respond to this project here that Gateway has started. Ask people to bring in supplies. We need a ton of dry goods, stuff that we can ship, like dry beans, buckets of beans, rice, which is a national staple. We need to get these foods into people in hospitals. We are asking people to send money if they prefer to do that. Okay. It's a lot easier to buy the goods if we can just go out and get the right packaging and stuff to ship out. We're asking them to come together. We're asking people to work together as a community, as a unit, to help respond to people in need at this time.
So the person who lives in Scotts Valley, Dan, how can they start contributing and helping out? Are you going to have like a big container?
Yeah.
Or what? How do you want people to start responding?
You know what? We're going to have a container right here on our property, and we're just going to be one of the drop-off stations. Okay. That you just bring your supplies that you have purchased, and then we'll just load it on the container. Okay. It'll be that simple.
Okay. And then we're going to fill up that container. It's 40,000 pounds?
40,000 pounds.
40,000 pounds of food, grains, beans, which is, like you said, it's a staple of not just that country, but pretty much all countries. It's food that's needed over there. And what about the supplies, like sanitary supplies and things like that? Is that something you want people to bring, or would you prefer to, because I'm almost thinking it'd be better off if somebody just contributed funds so that you can buy mega supplies at a more of a discount, these type of things. Would you agree with that, or what's your feeling on it?
I certainly agree with that. That is the easiest way. But we also realize a lot of people can't do that at this time. And if you have supplies, bulk supplies that we can use, we'll take it. And we are going to put out a list also of basic things people need that you can get. But if certainly it's a lot easier for us, and it will expedite things if we had the cash to go to a bulk supplier and purchase pallets of bleach and pallets.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, right? We were talking about the River Coffee when we started talking about this project. Just people can, if they contribute, you guys can go out and buy pallets of this stuff.
Yes.
You know, whether it's, some of your wholesale retail places, we're not going to name names because unless they want to start contributing too, then we'll do that. But you know what I'm talking about. Exactly. Dan, so how can people start getting involved? Is there a phone number, or is there a website that you can?
You know what? You can call the office here at 831-438-0646 and just ask for myself, Dan Bowman. Okay. I'm the point guy. Or just visit our website, www.gatewaybible.org. And there'll be the list on there. There'll be a link to Ahead Ministries as well, and also an opportunity to to give a donation towards supplies that they'd like.
Excellent, excellent. So gatewaybible.org is where they can visit. Now let's talk, Oscar, about some of the humanitarian effort that you're putting together for Liberia, what we're talking about on a Northern California scale and on a national scale. How can people get a hold of you? What can they, if people watching from wherever they're watching, they want to start contributing, what can they do? How can they find you?
Well, they can certainly go to Ahead's website, which there will be a link from Gateway Bible website. Is www.aheadministries.org.
Aheadministries.org.
Yes.
Like going ahead.
Yes.
Ministries.org.
Aheadministries.org. You can go there and you will have information and a way to donate and give to this cause. We also have expect this to become a movement, so we are going to be working with other partners, other friends we have in Sunnyvale and Cupertino, and then we begin to move throughout the state and across the U.S., and there will be other containers and other ways to give and those kinds of things.
Fantastic. You're both good men. I really appreciate the opportunity to come meet with you and share this message. There's a lot of people who really need our help. And it's like we were talking about earlier, living in the United States, very rarely, will anyone ever experience the type of pain that people are experiencing in Liberia. So we didn't even know what that's all about. And we're blessed not to know what it's all about. And I think that it behooves us to all, even if we're going to do just a little bit, if we're going to contribute just a little bit, even if each of us is going to contribute $10, $20, or $30, whatever you can do, by the time you get to the whole entire community, you've put together enough funds to send out a shipment of 40,000 pounds of food, supplies, and everything that's so badly needed for all the people who are suffering right now in Liberia. They got a double whammy of tragedy between, if it's not the hunger, it's Ebola. And that's pretty amazing and pretty tragic, and we all have an opportunity to make a difference. Right? Mm-hmm. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Oscar, thank you so much for being here. Dan, thank you so much for being here, even though I'm actually in your office. So thank you for being in your office. Thank you for watching this video, folks. We're going to put links so you can access some more information. You can start contributing and start sharing this message. Share this video with everyone that you know. And even if you're one of those people that says, you know what, we want to start doing what they're doing over at Gateway, I'm sure that if you go to aheadministries.org, you'll be able to get more information as to how they can start doing what Gateway Bible's doing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen, again. Thank you for watching this program. For more information, visit them at aheadministries.org and, of course, gatewaybible.org. Have a great evening and afternoon, whatever it is that you're watching it. Take care.